In an interview with CBS News last night, President Zelensky claimed that Russia is using the Ukrainian children it has abducted over these past years since the war began to fight in Russia's war in Ukraine. The Romanian president has come out and said that the drone, which entered into Romanian airspace and then crashed into a Romanian apartment block last week, was of Russian origin, and Peter Magyar, the Prime Minister of Hungary, vows to oust the current president of Hungary, who's an Orban loyalist and refuses to resign. I'm Sophia Marie. I'm a graduate of Georgetown in Oxford. Let's get into news of the region. Hey guys, make sure to like, follow, and repost. I do these updates on the East European, Russian, former Soviet space daily. Okay, so Zelensky did an interview with CBS News' Face the Nation last night for like 30 minutes, I believe, and he claimed that Russians are using the Ukrainian children that they have abducted and are training the boys to fight in Russia's war in Ukraine. Now, around 20,000 Ukrainian children have been abducted by Russia. That is the estimates that reports suggest. Zelensky last night also reiterated this same number. Now, apparently, Zelensky has obviously spoken a lot about the Ukrainian children which Russia has abducted, but apparently this is the first time that he's mentioned Russia training these young Ukrainian boys to fight in the war. Last night, Zelensky stated that Russia, quote, taught these children to hate their native country, to hate native people. And Ukrainians, can you imagine such young Ukrainians, young boys, come to the battlefield and kill Ukrainians? Now, regarding the Russia-Ukraine war, now this just came out according to the Ukrainian monitoring group Deep State. Ukraine has gained more territory in the month of May, like regained more territory than Russia has occupied in the month of May, pushing the net territorial gains by Russia in the negatives for the first time since the 2023 counteroffensive period. So super interesting news from the battlefront. Now, in other news, we've been following this drone which entered into Romania and then crashed into a Romanian apartment block last week. So yesterday, the president of Romania came out and confirmed that after a thorough investigative report done by Romanian authority, the drone was of Russian origin. Now, Putin, in the immediate aftermath of the attack last Friday, suggested that perhaps the drone was Ukrainian, obviously in their interest to deny that it was a Russian drone, but it seems like this report by Romanian authorities will put a rest to that. Now, interesting news from Hungary. We know that the new Prime Minister of Hungary, Peter Magyar, has vowed to purge Orban loyalists from their posts after he won the parliamentary elections 2 months ago in April. However, apparently the current president of Hungary, Sujak, has refused over and over again to resign. So Magyar apparently has made many requests that he resigned and gave this past Sunday, so yesterday, as a deadline for the president to resign. However, today, Monday, the Hungarian president reiterated that he will not step down. So in a news conference today following a meeting with the president, Prime Minister of Hungary, Peter Magyar, said that he and his fellow lawmakers will move to oust him, saying, quote, I have told the president that if he maintains his stance and does not resign, I will inform Tisza's lawmakers about our legislative proposals today, and we will immediately start the necessary procedures. So since Peter Magyar's party has a 2/3 majority in the parliament, Magyar will be able to make these sweeping changes. Lastly, in the South Caucasus, the Armenian Prime Minister Pashinyan has pushed back against calls from Russia and other Eurasian Economic Union countries to choose between the EU and the Eurasian Economic Union. He posted to Facebook today that Armenia would continue being a part of the Eurasian Economic Union, quote, until the choice between the European Union and the Eurasian Economic Union becomes unavoidable. Obviously, we've seen increasingly in the past years, and especially in the past recent months, that Armenia is like trying to forge this middle path, obviously wanting EU accession later down the line. They just hosted this EU summit with a bunch of European leaders in Yerevan, Armenia last month. So trying to keep this kind of intermediary position and not having to choose between one or the other until time really makes it necessary to do so. That's it for news today. Make sure to like, follow, and repost. I'll be back here tomorrow.